Interesting. It says here all three of these guys died with their cocks bitten off.
I've heard of the ultimate blowjob, but this is too much.
Obviously done by the same person.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Hollywood Horror! Rainbows from Hell. Yes, after last night's emotionally draining and a bit, I don't know how you would say, scatterbrained review of a movie that just gets into your brain because you just can't believe that it is so bad and so awesome at the same time. And that movie is Lady Terminator. If you haven't watched my review, go ahead. If you haven't watched the movie, find the movie and watch it. It's a sight to behold. I mean, one cannot just tell you what Lady Terminator is. It has to be experienced for someone, for oneself. Anyways, but enough of that. And yeah, I think my review is a bit scatterbrained. I mean, that movie messed me up in ways that I actually enjoyed. But, so tonight's episode, a bit more subdued episode, and maybe that's because I'm just super tired right now. I mean, damn, this old man body. You know, I'm like, what, we're only episode 9 in there, and I'm already just like, oh, I'm so tired. Anyways, tonight's episode, I am reviewing the Thai horror movie from 2005, the movie called Shudder. Now, this was part of the sort of Asian invasion, that happened in the mid to late 2000s, back when it was the dark ages of American horror. They're just American horror movies at that point was just mostly crap and garbage, and this sort of wave of Asian horror movies, and some from Europe too, that kind of put energy back into the horror community, and then kind of gave inspiration for newer ideas and newer approaches, and of course lots of remakes. But this was one of those movies that did end up getting an American remake. However, this one I think is probably a little bit more under the radar than the other movies out there, the big ones like The Ring and Ju-On and the Pulse. There was a bunch of others that sort of kind of hit the mainstream a bit harder than this one, but this one is definitely a movie worth checking out. So, what is Shudder about? Shudder is about a young couple. We have June, who is just graduating from college, and her boyfriend, Toon, who is a professional photographer. One night, after drinking with some buddies, June is driving Toon down a highway, and she gets distracted and accidentally hits a woman in the middle of the highway. They they spin out and hit a billboard, and when they come to, they realize, oh my God, she's laying in the street. Is she dead? And June's like, no, just get out of here. Just like, let's go. She's like, but June goes, no, we need to really check out. No. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's just sleeping it off or something. So let's get the out of here. So, of course, June leaves, and afterwards, strange events start happening. Toon is taking photographs, and all of a sudden, there's just these weird streaks and images, almost looks like double exposures, and he's thinking, wait, is something going wrong? Is the processing wrong? Yes, back then, we used things like film to take pictures, kids. Yeah, film. Then they are the negatives, my camera broken, I don't know. Anyways, that's not the only thing that starts happening. Also, June and Toon start to get hallucinations, some vivid nightmares, and seeing things, seeing figures, seeing a person. and it just kind of starts psychologically wearing on them, where they endeavor to figure out what exactly is going on, and through their investigations, well, mostly June's investigations, a sinister force is uncovered, whose, I don't know how you would say, wrath and vengeance is quickly unraveled and uncovered, and what you thought was happening this whole time was actually something else, and their interconnections are quite interesting, and the fact that this sort of twist that comes in is something that you really weren't thinking about, and then boom, it hits you, and it's like, oh, this is actually kind of brilliant. So I'm not really going to talk more about what happens in the film, because then you start getting into the spoiler range, and I think, no, you really want to watch this movie for the experience of it, and I thought it was very enjoyable. So, let's get to the scores. Violence and Gore, this is a not a gory movie. It's a half out of 5, 0.5 out of 5. Really, no violence, a little bit of blood, but nothing too much. And this kind of shows a kind of a different, how you would say, a different approach to ghosts. While in some other ghost stories, ghosts that are malevolent do things to you, and they can attack you. They can hurt you themselves, and they can kill you themselves. But in this one, this is sort of a philosophy that ghosts really can't do all that much to you. Instead, just sort of drive you crazy and drive you to hurt yourself. Scare you into doing something stupid, like running away without looking, and then boom, you're like running into a post or something, or just freaking you out so much and thinking, oh my god, it's on me, and then you just fall out a window or something like that, and you die. And that's kind of how this movie is. And in a way, it's a bit more frightening that way, because instead of the quick death, however painful and gruesome it can be, this one is sort of one that erodes your psyche. It strips away the sanity and acts like a sort of like Chinese water torture. It just drips on you until after a while you just can't take it anymore, and you just lose all sense of reality. And you will do anything to stop that, including jump in front of a bus or something like that. And in a way, that's probably a little worse. Don't you think? I mean, I think so, but anyways, so yeah, it is definitely a different approach, and a very interesting approach there. So moving on, shock value 3 out of 5. This movie uses a lot of jump scares. I mean, it's bread and butter, and sure, some of them are kind of telegraphed, but others really hit you hard, and that's pretty cool. This movie is about creating eerie atmosphere, and it does a pretty good job of doing that. So, and once again, that's one of the things that the Asian horror movies are known for, was creating good atmosphere and genuinely creeping you out. So, that's cool. We're going into acting. Acting, I'm going to do a 3 out of 5. It's hard to tell because foreign actors and stuff like this, but the guy who played Toon, the way that you could see his distress and his anguish and his pain and his confusion, I thought was very, very good. So I'm giving it some good points for that. 3 out of 5. Plot. This is the strong part. I'm giving it a 4. 4 out of 5. I just like the fact that it sort of like makes you think this is how it is when it actually isn't, and the nice little connections and the turns I thought were well done. It takes the old ghost story tropes and does something unique with them and different, and I find it refreshing, and I find it very enjoyable. So you got a 4 out of 5 out of that. Nudity, 0 out of 5. Just, yep. I mean, what can you say? I mean, most of the time, movies I've seen don't have nudity in it. Anyways, so there you go. 0 out of 5. Enjoyment factor, a solid 3 out of 5. sometimes the problem with trying to create an eerie mood and atmosphere is that you can make your movie kind of slow. And there will be some dull areas. There will be times when the pacing kind of drags a bit. This does happen in this movie. And also the fact that there isn't a lot of violence or gore. And, of course, no, wonderful titties. It does kind of like feel a little empty in certain points where, you really kind of want some stuff to be happening. And you tend to look over at the runtime and go, okay, I got about 45 minutes left. So, yeah, I got to give some negatives on that one. But altogether, solid entertainment, 3 out of 5. My overall impression is a 3.2 out of 5. Would have been higher, but the problems that I listed before, the pacing, and the lack of wonderful gore kind of did drag it down a little bit for me. But still, 3.2 out of 5, definitely a solid movie. And compared it to what was going on in horror in America at the time that it came out, man, it would probably seem like a 4 or a 5 because it was bad. It was like the dark ages of American horror cinema in that time period. So, anyways, 3.2 out of 5 overall impression. That averages out to be a 2.4 out of 5. There you have it. Shudder, solid ghost story movie. One of those more psychological type horrors, not necessarily filled to the brim with violence, but definitely a change of pace, especially for some of the other movies that I've done so far in this 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And yes, a bit more subdued, especially a lot more subdued than last night's epic review, where I just sort of lost all structure. But anyways, that movie, dang it, man. Whew. Man. Now wait till you watch Lady Terminator 2. No, it's not a thing. At least I don't think it's a thing. They call that Judgment Day? Because they're all about ripping off Terminator. But anyways, I digress. That's all I have to say about all of that today. So, leave a comment in the comment section. What did you think? Did you like my review? Did you watch Shudder? Are you interested in watching Shudder? Leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and I'm sorry that I'm not quite as energetic as usual. Like I said, I'm quite tired, and now I've got to do the long, grueling editing and stuff for this video, so I will leave it at that. So, my internet compatriots, I think you all should stay in focus.